Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Hello. Welcome back, everyone, to the Unlocking Website Success series. I'm really excited to be joined today by Colton, who is a fellow website geek, fellow Squarespace person, but he does a range of other things as well, including being a video expert. He does some really cool drone work and a lot of other video stuff for businesses far and wide. And I'm excited to talk to him about where his two passions meet: websites and video. Welcome again, Chris. Do you want to talk a little bit about your business, and how you got here?
Yeah, sure. So, hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and I run a business called SeeSee. I am based here in Northern Ireland, down in a little town called Omagh. My journey kind of started in probably around 2017 when I moved back home after living over in England. I was working for Apple at the time in Cardiff, and then I came home and I just kind of was a little bit fed up with working for other people, and I just wanted to be on that kind of self-employed line, do what I want when I want kind of thing. And basically, how I first started out was with websites, with Squarespace, same as Ellie. And basically, before even Apple, I'd done a music course, and my dream job was to be like a music supervisor. So like picking the music for movies and videos and TV
I didn't
shows.
know that. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
So I actually had a company called SeeSee Supervision, it was called. So the SeeSee, which you can kind of see behind me here, my logo, it's just my initials, so C and C. And the reason behind the name is that we see the world through eyes, through glasses. And yeah, it's just my initials as well. So that's kind of how it came up. But I originally designed a website actually using WordPress with the help of a guy that I worked with. And I was basically sharing like a song of the day every single day on Twitter, on the website. And then when it was coming to updating the website, I found it really hard to do with WordPress. WordPress is amazing, but you have to be very technical when it comes to it. So I decided to move over to Squarespace, and then I was doing kind of the same thing. And then when I moved back home, I was kind of like, what am I going to do with my life right now? And I actually quite liked doing Squarespace websites. And I managed to get like my first website for it was for a local musician here in Omagh. And I charged like £300 for the website. And I was like, oh my God, I might be able to do this. And as things kind of started to go along with the website stuff, I always kind of had an interest in videos and making videos. I kind of, when I was working with Apple, I would have been taking a lot of photos and stuff like that. And what I kind of started to realize that when I was doing the websites at the start was that people were like, oh, do you know anybody that does video or does photography? We need a person. So I kind of got thinking, this is something I could do as a package. So do website design, but then also do your photography and your videos. So my first kind of step in was actually buying a drone. So yeah, I went in like quite at a different level. Some people buy a camera straight away, whereas I just bought a drone and kind of jumped into it from there. And yeah, the drone stuff kind of took off. No pun intended. And that's kind of where I started to get my passion then for video, and then bought a camera. And what I kind of quickly realized is that people do need more than just a website. They need your videos, they need your pictures, because as you'll know yourself, there's nothing worse that if somebody comes to you and they're like, yeah, I took some pictures on my phone, and then you upload them to the website and they're a little bit blurry, or if they're like like if they send you a video and it's been recorded on like a 3310 like Nokia, it looks like quite awful. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it'll not. But I kind of, my passion then for video started to grow probably a lot more than my passion for website design. I just found it a little bit more like I was getting more of a buzz off that rather than doing the website stuff. So I'm kind of starting to lean more into video now. But yeah, that was kind of how I've started to get into video more. So started website design, then started doing drone stuff, and then now more so on the ground camera video stuff. So that was a very long-winded intro, but yeah, that's how we got there.
No worries. Yeah, I think that that's really, really interesting because, like you said, when you're a website designer, there's so many pieces of the puzzle, which is why I'm having this whole series, right? There's so many pieces that make your website go from like basic to like incredible. And one of those really, really key pieces is really good graphics, images, videos. And so we do have a talk coming later with Karen Flowers, all about that because she does such incredible branding, photography, and videos. I've never seen anything like it, but she's over in London. From
Oh, yeah.
sad day for me. but anyway, because it's a lot of times you'll get videos or images from a client and they're like, even if they're really high quality, they're not taken with a website in mind. And I think even sometimes if you have like maybe a photographer friend who's used to shooting things like weddings or portraits, and then they're being done again for a website, they're not having that idea of like, okay, this is being used for branding, so it's going to probably be put in Canva with things layered over it, or it's going to be on a website where then you're going to be putting it on a big banner, and so everyone's centered.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the bane of my existence.
Yes.
Yes.
And when things like, if I love a good banner image, so like when an image is using a banner, drone pictures work really well. But if it's say pictures of people and it like stretches them, especially when it comes to mobile, it just goes like straight in, and there's like people's faces are centered. Like it's
Yeah, you've got to be really, really conscious of your subject when you're going to be using it on a website in a different way. There
Absolutely.
needs to be a lot more space around
Mhm.
subjects. Yeah.
One thing that I've definitely noticed with likes of video, in terms of websites, is that I don't know, you potentially come across this, is that sometimes clients will send you over like an about, like a paragraph of about, but it's loads of text, and people just don't have the attention span anymore to read loads of text. So that's why I always kind of say, can you explain this in a video about what you do? And people will watch a video quicker than they will read a long bit of text because it's a little bit more engaging, a little bit more interesting. It's a good way of getting over like complex ideas as well. So if you do need to describe what you do, it's definitely an easier way to explain to people, and people will definitely watch a video quicker than read
Yeah,
text.
like, and I need to do this for my updated website, but I used to have video asks on both of my service pages, and that's a tool that allows you to have like a little pop-up in the corner, and people can watch a video and you can chat to them for about 2 minutes. They really do cut you off at 2 minutes, which is good. Again, down to that attention span thing. And then people can chat back to you. So it'll send you an email if somebody comments or has a question or something like that. And I need to get that back. I have some updates to my site again. That's the whole thing about being, especially a website designer. You're constantly doing them.
Yes.
But that very nicely brings me to my next question, which is, how do you see, like, what are good ways to use video across your website?
Definitely, I think so. For the likes of an e-commerce website, say you're selling something, let's just use makeup for an example. A good way you could use video there is that you could have a video of the best way to put it on, wear it, style it. Similar with, I don't know, like the likes of ASOS and places like that use video to show, like with clothing, the fit, like how it fits, if it's a tight fitting outfit or if it's baggy. Stuff like that can be really useful. It's engaging as well, because you can see a picture, and a picture doesn't show everything, whereas a video can show you quite a lot. Other ways for service-based businesses, for example, just basically talking about what you do. Sometimes you can go onto a website and you'll see a services list, but you might not know if they still do that service or how they do it, or you want to know how they do it. Sorry. It can be a good way to show what you do. show the quality of your work. For example, if you were to do car graphics, you could do a video of recent projects that you've done. But it's definitely a better way of having showcasing your work to people. But definitely with the likes of how-tos as well, showing how do you do this, how you use this product or whatever you're buying. It can be a great way to show off that
Yeah.
there.
And I
So
think a lot of my clients I've seen in the past, they've done things like maybe they have a soundless video that they have as a banner, and it makes a good backdrop for that first thing when people see you. The thing is you can have, now we're going to talk about this in all these videos, but you should have a lot of pictures or videos of you across your site, whether you sell products or services, because people are buying from you, right?
yeah,
They, especially with small businesses, they're going to you for a reason rather than Primark, right? Like
yeah,
so you should have a lot of those types of things. But and while while images are really, really good for helping build that trust and relationship, a video does it even better, right?
yeah,
A video does it even better. And so along those same lines of maybe you have a video talking about your services, or maybe you're showing how to use your product. Other things that my clients do are having video testimonials from their clients, because in theory, our brains always say, "Oh, right, these are great testimonials."
mhm,
And if you put a picture of the client, even better, right? Because it shows this is a real person.
yeah,
But if you can have a video of your client, even better, because they go, "Oh my gosh," right? They can start to see themselves in that person.
yeah,
So it can be a really valuable tool. What I find that I struggle with, because obviously I design websites, I've used these tools, these features. I do this for my clients. I don't do it for myself enough. I do create YouTube tutorials, so I use video quite a lot in my business. I show up on Instagram stories. I did have that video ask, but yeah, I would love to start having things like my about me be me talking, because that's
yeah,
clearly something I'm good at, right?
yeah,
Like, it's something that's in my
yeah,
wheelhouse, and
yes,
I am chatty and I'm personable and I'm
yeah,
bubbly, and
yeah.
yeah.
And that's the thing. Like people want to buy from real people. I know that that
Mhm.
might sound like silly, but like sometimes if you show off your personality in a video, people might like you from that and be like, oh, I actually really want to work with this person. They seem really nice. They seem really cool. Showing your face off it makes it more personable, I think, for when people are spending a lot of money with you. So
Yeah.
that's something actually that yeah, I need to update my website. It needs a little bit of a refresh. I think when you're designing a website, you like just completely abandon your own when
You
it's
can, yeah. I did an
yeah,
overhaul of mine in January, and now I'm switching some of none of my web services are changing, but some of my
mm,
systems services. So
yes,
those of you on the channel probably know that I'm
mm,
obsessed with Squarespace, and I'm totally obsessed with business optimization.
yeah,
And so some of my services systems are changing, and I'm like, okay, I just did my website at the start of the year, and now I
yeah.
need to split my services page again. I really need to get those videos in. Yeah, just never ending.
I know it really is never ending, and it's hard to keep on top when you are doing work for other people.
Mm,
But then it is important to remember to showcase your own stuff, like to make it look the best it can. And I
mhm.
think I need to record a video soon, have it on my homepage. Basically, it has like a little breakdown of everything that I do. So, video, photos, drone, websites, and basically just talk through what I do because people might land on my website and yes, it says it in the header what I do, but I think if you have a video telling and maybe even showcasing off like a little bit, you say, "Oh, I do drone," and then show a drone shot. It kind of
Yeah,
gets
some
people
case
pumped.
studies.
Yeah, case
Love case
studies.
studies
Yeah,
example. We
in a
are all
way,
about social proof over here.
yes, yes, yeah, and it's in a way you kind of even if you're not a videographer or somebody who's shooting video, you could call it your show reel in a way, like it's showcasing off your what you do.
Mhm,
So yeah, class it as a show reel that you can send to people and what you do really,
right.
which is great.
So let's talk, like, if you were a small business owner and you wanted to start implementing some of these things across your website. So whether that be a big banner image or some case studies or some video
Mhm.
testimonials, or some examples of your work, or a video of what you do or how you offer it or how something works, all these things we just talked about, how would you, like, so you do this with your clients quite a lot. How do you recommend they get started?
This is going to sound like so cliche, but literally just set up. We all have amazing phone, like the phone, the camera in iPhones or Android phones now are amazing. Like they all pretty much record 4K, which is really high quality. And the thing to do is put it on a tripod, make sure that it's in portrait mode if it's going on your social media, and literally just press record. And no joke, I was out maybe 2 days ago shooting a little video on color grading, and it took me about an hour to do that one video, but I was stopping recording, stopping, and like, oh, that doesn't sound right, need to redo it. But do as many as you can. You'll probably be sick to your teeth of what you're saying by the end of it, because you've said it so much and said it in so many different ways. But literally, you just got to press record. And I know from over here in Northern Ireland, it must be a culture thing, but Northern Irish people don't like to be on camera or talking. And it's just getting out of that. Like, I think people worry about what are they going to think of me that I'm talking about myself for my business. But if you don't promote yourself, like, nobody else is going to shout about you. So definitely shout about yourself as loud as you can. And probably a cultural thing as well, that we don't really pat ourselves on the back over here, and say how great we are and what we're doing. But I guess it can be worldwide as well. It is hard to kind of big yourself up, and make yourself sound as good as you really are. But yeah, just press record, go for it. Don't care what other people think. At the end of the day, it's your business. They're not paying your bills. Like, you got to do what you got to do, and go for it. Like, and you will record at the very start. I've sort of started to record YouTube videos and stuff, and the very start, I'm looking back at those videos and I'm like, they are awful. Like, they're really bad. Whereas now I'm starting to get a little bit better, and you're sort of starting to see the progress. So yeah, just literally just press record, go for it. If you're doing it on for social media, just make sure it's in a portrait mode. If you are doing the likes of YouTube and stuff, just turn it to the side to make sure it's in landscape. That's kind of some of the key things. But mainly now, because everything is TikTok, Instagram, Reels.
Right, but we're talking websites today. So for website video,
website video, definitely landscape. If it's going on social media and you want to have it on social media, always make sure that it is portrait. But yeah, for the likes of websites, I definitely don't recommend doing a portrait. Do it in landscape, but literally just go for it. And yeah, you will be awful at the start, but you'll get more comfortable talking, and things will get better, and just go for it.
Yeah. So for me personally, when I first started with video, because I do this YouTube channel, I've made reels. I used to love doing IGTVs back when they allowed long form video.
Yeah.
And so I hated putting myself on video at first. I was one of those people that I've had a podcast. This is going to go on the podcast. I used to be one of those people that like cringed at the sound of my own voice. Obviously that never like fully goes away, but the more you practice, not just speaking coherently and doing all those things, but the more you practice in general, the more you're going to feel like, all right, it's fine. So I actually started just doing Instagram stories, because I was able to tell myself, these disappear in 24 hours. It doesn't matter. And practice there.
Yeah.
And then I started doing the IGTVs, and now obviously I do YouTube channels. And I think I started doing the same stuff I do on my YouTube by doing courses that in my business didn't fully work out, to be honest, but it gave me the practice of the like whole recording your screen and showing people what you're doing at the same time, which is a skill. It is so hard to do and teach. But again, I've gotten to the point where it's so second nature to me. And the reason I have a YouTube channel is because showing up and doing a 10-minute YouTube tutorial is so much easier for me than creating a full-on blog post. And I can then take that content and put it on my blog, which, and like you said, it's more engaging. It's more bite-sized for people to learn from. YouTube, personally, for me, is such a great medium because I get comments and leads from videos that I created over a year ago.
Yeah.
People will be like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And they just reach out to me being like, thank you. Or can I book a power hour or whatever it is?
Yep.
So coming back to websites, talk to me about, because obviously videos are such a powerful tool, but there's some limitations when it comes to using videos and on your website. So tell me a little about using videos for your website and how it works on mobile.
So I know that if you want, like, so sometimes I've used drone footage for the likes of an engineering company showing off their product on a really big site where you get to see everything, you get to see their product. But there's always, when you upload the video, say, to the banner in the likes of Squarespace, there's always have a fallback image, which is very important, so that if for whatever reason the video won't load, you have an image to fall back on. But also, you do have to be very wary that when recording a video or putting it on your website, there are multiple things that you need to consider, the likes of the size. So you maybe want to upload to the likes of YouTube first before uploading to your website. Yeah, it's all about kind of the sizing and mobile. Like, obviously, when you go onto a website on your mobile, once you press play, it'll be like a landscape mode, but hopefully when you turn it, it'll turn into a larger video. It's whether you kind of want to have those landscape videos or the portrait videos again. So it's kind of figuring out what's going to best suit for each section of your website, and the format. So even it is finding out whether you want to shoot in portrait or landscape, which can be important sometimes depending on the part of the website. Really, I know for banners, like when you go on the likes of a laptop or a desktop, a banner video is amazing. It can look so beautiful playing in the background, but you do have to always have the backup of an image.
Yeah, like Squarespace actually doesn't allow the video to be played on mobile. So the way that their platform does this is, like you said, they have a fallback image, and that image is all that shows up on a mobile.
Yeah.
It doesn't show the video. And that's good for a few reasons. Like you said, if somebody has a really slow internet connection, it allows for, on desktop, that image just to show. And then it allows on mobile for somebody not to have to pull through loads of mobile data to play this video. Other things, like you said, that we use quite a lot in the website design world is maybe hosting that video elsewhere, like YouTube or Vimeo. I do videos of like screen recordings of like me scrolling through the websites I design. And I do those in Loom because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's where I record all my screen recordings.
Yeah. Loom,
And then I just
Loom is
link
really
them in
amazing.
Loom and embed them to my website. So I'm not doing anything crazy with that yet. The other thing is that some websites you can host as much video as you want to, especially if you're looking at something like you're having WordPress, you're paying for your servers anyway. So however much video you want to upload to your servers, your thing. Squarespace has limitations depending on which plan you're on. And that's, again, having that much native video in your website is something you should be very wary of how you want to do it. But you're right. There's lots of ways to kind of get around that so that people aren't having to download the full video while they download all the rest of your websites.
Yeah. One thing I always would recommend to people is, even if you're not going to use it, just start a YouTube channel so you have somewhere to put those videos, because it's free. You can upload the videos. If you ever want to use it in the likes of a presentation or on your website, you can always embed it into your website. But just start a YouTube channel for your business.
And you can put those videos up as unlisted or private, so that they're not just showing up for the whole world if you're not wanting that to be what they are.
Yeah.
I also have a lot of clients that do use Vimeo because especially if they're, it's sort of like intellectual property. So if it's a course or something they've created in those videos, and we're using Squarespace's members area or other features that Squarespace has, they don't want those videos to be accessible off their website. So you can set up that they can only be embedded on specific domains and things like that
Yeah.
in Vimeo. So there's lots of things, because I have found this issue where a client only wants one web image or one video on their website, maybe like one big nice homepage video of them talking about what they do and why it matters. And then you put it in through either the code or with the link. And I've got a whole video on my channel about how to embed anything into Squarespace if you want. But they're embedding this video, and then it gets to the very end and it recommends a bunch of people's videos that aren't theirs, right? They're embedded into their website.
Yeah.
So there is just a tiny bit of extra code you can add to keep that from happening. If you have a question, I can drop that in the comments later if that's a problem you're experiencing. But yes, there's lots and lots of ways to get around all the little pesky problems that happen with free tools without necessarily having to go, say, the Vimeo route.
And that's a good point, that if somebody is watching a video on your website and it is from YouTube, and then a recommended video comes up that maybe they're interested in, they click on it and then they're away from your website. So it's important to have those little kind of safety nets, I guess, for keeping people on your website as well.
Yeah.
So that's
And
great.
most of you, Chris knows because we do the same thing in a lot of ways. But if you don't know, best practices are that any external links, any links on your website that go to another website of any kind, are opened in a new window, because it's that same thing. You don't want people to leave your site unnecessarily.
Yeah. And even the good thing, I guess, sometimes about embedding in your website, they will stay on your website while the video plays. But sometimes, if for the likes of YouTube, they could open the app. Some phones have it set up that if you play a video, it'll take them into the YouTube app, and then they're down a whole nother hole of watching videos of dogs.
That's
and
true.
kind of thing.
I have, in my site alone, I have on my homepage, I do have 3 little videos.
Yep.
There are scrolling websites. Might not be my homepage, might be my services page. But I have 3 little videos that are like mock-ups where the scrolling website is inside a laptop or something.
Yeah.
And those are, because they're all like 30 seconds, they're just uploaded directly into Squarespace. Then I have some YouTube videos, mostly on my blog, where I figure if somebody's after information on my blog, they're probably going to watch 2 or 3 videos about the same thing, figure out which one's the best. Mine will probably be the best. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
and then hopefully they'll come back for more information.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I have the Loom videos, and luckily Loom doesn't really recommend other videos or anything like that. So that's another option.
Yeah.
If you're creating videos like that.
I really love Loom. Like, Loom is amazing for giving, like, kind of showing. So if I build a website for somebody, I will record a Loom and showcase, oh, this is what I've done today, this is an update, this is a video update, and it's amazing. And it is another power of video. It's another kind of medium of video.
Loom in your dashboard, it will say, you've avoided this many meetings this week.
Yes.
Recording videos, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, Loom, for those of you who don't know, it's a free video software. It does a few things. You can record your face. So I create videos like this. You can record your screen. You can record both, which is how I do my YouTube videos. I also create like videos for my clients. I also create videos for my team that link or that tutorial will live in our project management tool forever. But that's a whole other side note. But what I think is the most valuable is you can record a video of just your face, or a video of you. You can also create like little virtual backgrounds and things. And so you can create a really good video and host it there and get that into Squarespace or wherever you're hosting your website, without having that issue of it referring additional videos like YouTube would, because YouTube wants people to stay on their platform. That's how they get to show ads and get paid, right?
Yeah.
So.
I know. And one thing I like, this might not be for everybody, but one thing I do like is when I'm sending feedback to a client, I get a little notification when they watch it. And that always it's always good for like keeping yourself up to date with where people are and stuff as well. So it's always good to know when people have seen stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, I know we've had a couple people popping in and out of the stream. If you have any questions for myself or for Chris around websites, around video and websites, around video in general, let us know. But so I would like to kind of come back to that. But so we've talked about all the different ways that you can use video in your sites. We've talked about how to make it like optimized and not slow down your site or not direct people away from your site. How do you make sure it works on mobile? And that responsiveness issue is something with anything you're going to add to your site. But tell me about like the power of video, I guess. So this whole thing is meant to be like, so we know it's going to allow you to be more engaging. We know it's going to be really, really personable. But talk us through sort of maybe some of the results your clients are getting or other kind of wow things that you've been able to achieve through using video for yourself and clients.
Yeah, well, in a way, for myself anyway, that when I put up a video and people say share it, for me and my own results, it's getting me more work. People are seeing what I can do rather than people just reading on a business card, oh, this guy does video. Well, that's cool. But when people share it and people see it, it's then giving myself more leads essentially to show off. With the likes of drone stuff, everybody's always amazed with drone images. Like they're always the most kind of impactful. In terms of making videos for clients, I've done some charity work for some local charities, and they've made videos, and the videos have brought like out emotion in people. Like potentially, I remember one video that they were saying that a few people were crying like watching the videos. Like that emotion that you can like, if you can attach somebody to a video with emotion, they're already invested in you straight away. They're like, this is amazing, who's made this video, or they're connecting to the company more. With the likes of well, for websites, when people put up videos, you'll definitely notice that if you check in the analytics, if there's a videos page, it's probably going to have more traffic than the likes of an about page, because of that. People just prefer watching videos, you know. In terms of the businesses and when they do videos, I do get a lot of great feedback where people are saying, oh, we've had some great feedback from employees and customers that they really love the video. And that will stick with people if they remember, oh, do you remember that video you seen? It's like kind of like if you think about Coca-Cola now at Christmas time, you're always going to think of that big truck and lorry. People always have, when they see a video, they like connect it with something. And companies find that a great way to connect maybe a video with a product, essentially, you know.
It's because it combines those two like learning types, like visual and auditory learning. Like if I just hear something, I know I have a podcast and I listen to a couple, but I cannot really listen to podcasts because it doesn't stick. Like I have to see it, I have to read it or watch it for me to process that information. So it kind of combines those two major senses and it can improve learning. That's why it works for engagement so well. It also can be a really quick win, right? So especially if it's a tutorial or a how-to video or a testimonial, it's that really quick, like it takes somebody probably mere minutes to watch something and do something that, like, for example, as a side note, I spent a good chunk of my yesterday trying to figure out how to add a custom font into a Shopify site that I'm working on. And I read all of Shopify's articles and everything about it. And I could not for the life of me. And the second I got on a YouTube video, I was like, oh, like it involves code and stuff, but it suddenly was very just this like, okay, I know how to make this work now. It doesn't mean it wasn't still a whole rigmarole, but it worked. I figured it out.
You got there in the end.
So it's that power of video can be really, really good. I know you've also done videos for like vehicles. I know you've done it for like houses or in buildings and things that just people, again, it's that a picture doesn't do it justice situation. So tell us a little bit about that.
So even like I don't know if sometimes when you go to the likes of a restaurant or even a business, sometimes you want to see what the place is like before you get there. And that can be quite good for customers who are maybe a little bit nervous, who need to kind of like see where they're going, or they want to visualize where they're going essentially. It's a good way to show if people are going to like the vibe of somewhere. In terms of cars, it's good to see if people like, it kind of saves people time in a way. Like they're not like, they feel like, oh, if I go down here, am I going to waste my time? Whereas a video can show them exactly what they're potentially getting into, where they're visiting, where they're going, give them kind of like I think we like, as humans, we like to know what's ahead of us rather than being surprised. And I think video is a good way of showcasing that. I do local estate agent videos here. And for them, it's been very good because it shows people around the house, it shows them the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, and for them it's saving a lot of time with time wasters. Essentially, people are seeing it straight away, and they know, yeah, I actually quite like the vibe of this place or this house. I could see myself living there.
Yeah, there's nothing like those like videos, but in the world before that, those full 360 images
Yeah.
before they were starting to use video more with properties. You'd kind of go, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, I kind of actually can see what this place like looks like. It looks like you're just looking
Yeah.
around, and you're getting that same, but even better,
Mhm.
right, with video for these spaces, and that can be so because there's so many businesses that are probably going to be watching this. That can be estate agents, that can be
Mhm.
a um, Airbnb host,
Yeah.
that could be a car dealership, that could be if you have a business and a shop, that could be your shop. People can walk around the shop, they can
Mhm.
see what, and obviously your products are going to be updated. But if you have a cafe or anything, like it's people love to feel like they are in a space. You're right. And it also can maybe give ideas for accessibility. If there's stairs, if it's family friendly,
Yeah.
if it's those kinds of things that people who maybe have special circumstances
Yeah.
need to be thinking about in advance as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is a great way to show off your space and kind of shout about what you do as well. Like, here's
Mhm.
our amazing cafe, here's our amazing bar, here's our amazing car showroom, and as you said, for accessibility needs as well, it's good to show off that you have those rather than somebody coming down, say for wheelchair access, for example. It could show off that it's there rather than them getting down there and being like, "Oh, I can't go into this place
Mhm.
because of this reason." It's definitely a good way of showcasing off spaces as well. Um, I know I like to see like where I'm going, and even some places are like quite hard to find as well. And I did launch a service last year, like where to find us videos, where I basically strapped a GoPro to the front of my car and like physically drove to the location.
That's
Um,
brilliant.
yeah,
Like
so it's so
there's so many
handy.
places, especially I know America's very grid like,
Yeah,
but if you're in Europe, there's so many places that might be down like you go down an alley and then it's this weird little
mhm.
nook,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's not easy to find.
yeah. And like and it saves the business so many times because they're probably like getting phone calls being like, "Hey, I'm standing outside this place that where you're meant to be, but I'm not here." And then like it cuts out all that time. And that was quite a good one because there was a few places, especially in Ireland here, we've quite a lot remote roads and stuff. So I basically strapped the GoPro onto the front of the bonnet, and like physically just drove the route with like there was a little map in the corner showing off where it goes, and people find that really handy, and that is a good way of show even if you're in a shopping market or a mall as you guys would call them, like um it's really good to kind of show that off and just make it as easy as possible for people to find you and get there, and then as you say, then just see your facilities and stuff as well.
Yeah, and then it's also really interesting. So you had brought this up before, but I kind of want to circle back to it. So it's not just big. So we've talked about various industries and how they can use video. I think one of the biggest ones that's coming forward more and more is for product-based businesses. Pretty much, so Squarespace, Shopify, any of these tools now will allow you in the place where you add images, and you usually upload a few images, you can add a video of your product. And like you said, it doesn't, so you can do video for wherever stage of business you're in. Obviously, these big H&M and ASOS and whatever are having professional done videos. At the same time, they're having professional done photos of the garments, right? The outfits. Now you can, I know some businesses that do this, right? They have professional done images of every single one of their products. You can like send your products to people who do these images and videos for your site, but you can do them yourself too. Like you can in your home have a little light box, create these images. You can watch a couple quick courses. My husband's company has at the start of every week they do and I say husband's, it's not his company, he works for them, by the way. But at the start of every year they have a week where they all get to work on their fun creative projects and then showcase them at the end of the week. And a couple of years ago, one of the gals in the company did essentially product videos, and she made these like incredible videos showcasing perfumes and all this, and she did it all with her phone, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Right. There's videos out there that show you how to make these, but it doesn't also need to be that complicated. Just make sure you have the right light and go, give all the directions and dimensions of the product that people will be doing.
I think people like when say for example a new gadget comes out, I'm straight onto YouTube to watch that video, like how like I watch people unboxing it, like I want to see what the box is like.
My husband does this too.
Yeah,
you guys are weirdos, but yes.
Yeah. It's a bit of a nerdy thing, like, but like say for example Apple have released a new Mac, I want to go and see what it's like, see what people are testing out, if it's gonna benefit me. Like the power of video can make people, like I've done it numerous times where I'll watch a product video and after I'll be like, yeah, I need that. I need that.
And we do it with like, so the research side of like good products is amazing. The other thing is circling back, and is a great idea, is you having your users create those videos for you, sending out to, maybe you've come out with a new product, sending a few of the people who loved your last product, a few, asking them to create a little video or give you a review, sending it out to, and this is touching on influencer marketing, but sending it out to people who would be in your niche or industry that create these videos on YouTube. And there's a lot of differentiating factors about whether they do it or not. It depends on the size of their YouTube channel, the size of all these things, but you could do a little research. I bet you there's somebody that has a YouTube channel or a podcast that would be happy to chat about your product if they truly liked it,
Absolutely. Yeah. Like that influencer marketing style of things is massive now. And like I can only refer to how I have purchased things in the past, that I have literally watched videos on YouTube of somebody telling me that this camera is amazing and it's going to cut your workflow down, or it's going to help out with your workflow, make it faster, make you more efficient. And I'm just like, buy straight away. Like,
because it comes back to that idea we talked about before. It comes back to social proof, and there is nothing more powerful than user-generated content.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like there's nothing more powerful than that. Yeah. People, and again, it gives people that opportunity to see themselves in someone else. It's not coming from the person whose job it is to sell it. It's coming from somebody else.
And I think with the likes of an e-commerce website that maybe have a product that they know is great and will help people, if they have a video on the product page showing the benefits and showing how it's used, people will watch it. And if something clicks with them, they'll buy it straight away. So absolutely, like the power of video is incredible. And as you said, people can do stuff from their home. They can do it themselves. I think there might be this concept that you have to have a really expensive camera to be able to do these things. And you definitely don't. Like your phone is, like phones are getting so powerful now that down the line.
Yeah, the computers in them at this stage are incredible, along with the cameras themselves.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is it's all well and good to buy a really nice camera, but unless you're doing something like you're getting paid for whatever you're doing with your camera,
yeah,
if you're not using it tons and tons and tons, like the chances are is that your phone's going to outpace that camera's technology in like no time at all.
I
So
know, and the thing about like fancy cameras is that it's just not a matter of picking it up and pressing record. There are so many technical things in it that you need to figure out. Whereas on your camera, everything is like nearly on auto, so it's like it'll pretty much do everything for you straight away, straight out of the box. And it'll
that
save you
said,
time
really quick,
on.
I did not know iPhones do not automatically put your phone on 4K mode.
Yeah,
So
you
you
have to change it.
can very easily change it
Mhm.
to 4K mode. So mine now is on 4K mode.
Yeah, yeah,
You can do little things like iPhones don't just naturally have the little grid.
yeah,
So there's lots of things. If you literally watch how to
mhm,
optimize an iPhone or an Android for the best video, it will like one YouTube video will have you sorted, and you
yeah.
can do it all probably in less than 10 minutes of like, okay, now every video I take is going to be
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, and people will always ask me, "Oh, do you recommend a good camera for my partner? They really want to get into photography." And 9 times out of 10, I would say to them, start out on your phone and use
Mm,
your phone. Like you already own the phone. Whereas if you want to get into photography, you have to buy the camera body, you have to buy then the lens. Like lenses alone can be like upwards of £2,000, like more
right.
expensive than the camera. Whereas you have already got that in your hand, in your pocket every single day.
Yeah.
And kind of going back to what you said, what we were talking about before, is that to get comfortable on camera, once the first time you do it, you'll be like nervous. You're like, oh, that sounds so stupid. But even just record it and keep it locked away for practice. Call them practice runs, I guess. Keep doing it and filling up that like kind of like a bank of videos of you recording,
Mhm.
and you will probably look back and be like, oh my god, that's so cringe. But like after a while, you'll start getting better and more comfortable on it. But yeah, just keep doing it
Yeah.
and trying.
And one other tip around that is when I create videos that I know are going to be like when I create my video ask, or I'm going to put it on my website, I make myself bullet points. Like, don't create a script,
Yeah,
but bullet points so that you can breathe a little bit and be like, okay, I'm not going to forget anything I need to say.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, just practice. It just takes practice. And the
yeah,
nice thing, that's the thing about websites. That video that you have on your homepage, 6 months from now, when you're way better at video, you can put a new one up. Like that's
yeah.
not going to be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, the likes of stories is a good place to start because it deletes after 24 hours. Like it's yeah, but another way is just record on your phone, and keep them there. And if they're good, maybe use them. If not, just at least you've gained a little bit of experience like doing the videos. But
Mm.
definitely, people don't need to spend thousands of pounds on video gear, and your phone is just as powerful nowadays, and they're only going to get better. So
Yep, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much for
no
telling us
problem.
all about this and for helping us to understand the power of video in our businesses in general, but especially how we can harness it for our websites. Can you tell us a little bit about how you can help people if they're, looking for video, especially if they're in Northern Ireland, but if there's anything you can offer them from abroad as well? And then tell us how people can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So thanks so much for having me on, and it's been a pleasure to talk about websites and video. Um, so if at the minute the way I work with, obviously I do websites, but I'm kind of steering more towards video now because I just find it gives me a little bit more of a buzz kind of
That's okay. You can
from
send the websites my way.
yeah, I'll send them your way. But yeah, with videos, so we can do like 1 to 3 minute videos. We can do a little bit of photography as well. A lot of people, if you have like big premises and stuff like that, drone videos are amazing way to showcase your space, showcase what you're doing. Um, if people kind of want to get in touch, they can go to www dot I nearly put too many W's there. www.seesee.ie. So you'll kind of see it spelled behind me. And get in touch there. I do a lot of stuff in terms of video and have a lot of equipment with recording and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of everything that I can sort of think about now. If
And
we
where can people find you other than so that you're on CC,
okay, yeah. So
that's
yeah,
your
got my
website.
website. Yeah, Instagram. It's just CCIE. Um, So it's SeeSeeie. Every time I'm on the phone, I'm giving out my email. I have to explain to people that it's not just the 2 letter C's. So I'm like SeeSee, but it's
It's okay. They'll
SeeSeeie.
all be in the
Yeah,
show notes as well,
yeah,
so don't
cool.
worry about that.
Yeah,
They'll be
yeah.
in the YouTube
And
description
then
and
I'm
on
on
the.
TikTok as well. I'm kind of having a lot of fun with Instagram Reels and stuff at the minute, and kind of seeing the follow. The thing I found about video and Instagram Reels is that, even though we're talking about websites, but when Instagram Reels came out, views were like really high. They were like 10,000, whatever. But now it's a lot slower. So, but I'm having a lot of fun with that. But also, I have a YouTube channel as well. It's just under Chris Colton.
And
If
what
you
kind
want
of
to follow
content do you
there.
create there on your YouTube channel?
So yeah, recently I converted a Volkswagen Crafter van into like a camper van. So
That's
I
so
kind of
cool. It's
yeah.
like that whole
So
van life thing is so many people's like dreams,
yeah,
including
yeah.
me.
Yeah, but I actually recently sold it, but I've got a smaller van now that I'm going to do up. So yeah, kind of doing that, and I'm
Just
gonna.
always
But
need a project, huh?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But recently, I've been getting really into like electric cars and electric vehicles. So doing reviews of those, and then I'm just kind of doing tech reviews and stuff as well. So
Very good.
going for the 1,000 subscribers to start monetizing and stuff like that. So see how it goes. But yeah, that's kind of
All right. Well, go
Facebook.
subscribe to Chris. Subscribe to this
Yes,
channel as well.
yes, yes.
And we're so glad to have you. Thank you so
No,
much.
no, thank you so much for having me.
Right. Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.